Good morning and welcome to AM Break with Ann and Audra. We're here at Wheezy's having a rainy good morning. Not rainy, but still a very good morning. Lots to talk about, including what we're looking at on the set.
How cool is this? And every
Adorable.
time we come into the store, there's something new, something cool. And I just want to show these. These are actually oyster shell napkin rings, but they can be kind of like decorative votive holders. So if you take it off, or maybe it could be like if you're extreme trendy, like a bangle or something.
Really? You couldn't do that?
Oh, what's up? Yes, I could. How you doing?
I couldn't do it. That
Actually,
would make me crazy.
It might
hurt
my skin.
Does that hurt a little bit?
Okay.
So anyway, this is how it was meant, as a napkin holder, but you can also put it around the votives. It's
perfect. I mean, it's not just for the beach, it's for home, it's spring, bring the summer into your home. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. I thought it was cool.
Going down to the beach and recycling.
It's totally not a bangle, though.
It's not a bangle. You did try.
Beautiful.
You gave it a great effort. And then also, we are dressed per usual by Cole Couture. And in case you don't know what we're wearing, Marie Oliver.
I feel like we should be in Palm Beach at a resort, lounging.
It's very springy.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
It's a nice fabric,
and flowy,
though.
Yeah. And light for the summer. So check out Cole Couture. They've got their spring line in, and it is very light and very great to wear, comfortable to wear during this particular season. Other big thing going on in our lives right now. What is that, Audra?
Game of Thrones is back. Game of Thrones. Oh my gosh. Okay.
But I haven't watched the whole episode, so we can't talk about it.
Just not watch the whole episode. We've been waiting months for this. For the dragons, for everything.
Well, this is what happened. So it premiered on the same night that was the last night of Watchathon.
Oh, and Kardashians, and
Well, I didn't watch that, but I was watching the Showtime shows.
Okay.
A friend of mine, Kelly Haddon, whom you met, my tall friend, she said, you've got to watch The Affair. Didn't get through with it, so now I've got to buy Showtime. So they totally got me.
Got you on that free preview,
They got me on that free preview. So I need to buy Showtime now, which I will do sometime later today. And so I didn't get to watch, because it was going to end at midnight, so I had to watch.
I can't even share anything that happened, because every scene was like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. And I was texting our friends watching. You know, Michelle and Greg our friends at home, had a watching party.
See, and I couldn't make it because I had to watch my watch-a-thon. But I did get to the point where they are, let's see, he's just gotten out of the crate.
Oh, goodness. Oh, and that's first 2 minutes. Anyway, so, well, we can't talk about that.
Okay, well, we'll talk about it later.
So what else did you do this weekend?
I watched a lot of Watch-a-thon.
Okay.
Vince had a sleepover with a buddy. Got a lot of laundry done. I had a normal working mom weekend.
Well, I had an exhausting weekend, but it was fun. Got to go to Word of South.
Right.
Now, the weather was a little stinky, but we had a Coca booth at there, and guess who I got to see? Sheila E., drummer extraordinaire. Glamorous Life. Hello. How cool is that? Well,
she's on my iPad.
The thing is, though, Word of South is a literature music festival, so people thought like they were going to see her perform. She was actually promoting her book to the beat of a different drummer.
Okay.
Beat of her own drum. I'm going to mess up that. Okay.
Something.
But anyway, I loved her. She was up there speaking. She's gorgeous. Anyway, like she could be 100 and still looks like 30 something. But she was really inspirational and talking about, be respectful of people, be nice to people, be kind. And like, it was like really cool to see this superstar kind of have this like, hey, just be nice to people.
Right.
It was cool.
Okay. But, Sheila, I am a fan.
Oh, and former Mayor John Marks got up and asked a question about Prince. Everyone wants to know her involvement with Prince. Like, was she involved? And she's like, go get the book.
Oh, how about you?
I also have the Google. So if you go to the Google, but also get the book, you should support her. You can find out some answers about her relationship with Prince.
With Prince.
It's interesting.
You know he's my height?
Really?
He's short. He's like really
like
short.
With his platform?
Yes. No, well, with his platform shoes, he's your height. Without them, he's my height.
I don't think so. He seems so petite and
he's a tiny guy.
Aww.
Yeah. But anyways, when we come back, we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we've got some folks here to talk about human trafficking and efforts to stop that. We've also got a very good friend of Audra's here to talk about Lauren's
Kids Foundation.
Correct.
Definitely.
And then we're going to find out more about Tallahassee Museum. So a lot packed into the show. We're going to be right back. Stay with us.
The body only performs as to what you put into it.
We cook it fresh and we bring it to you every day.
Helping people to maximize their effort, whether they're training in the gym, whether they want to gain weight, whether they're trying to lose weight.
Need someone to show me how to eat right, the right ingredients, the right portions, and make it easy where it's delivered at my door.
It's the large variety of food. I definitely love it.
It's just been absolutely delicious. I mean, stuff's really, really, really good.
It's just a lifestyle change.
Every child needs a mentor, a positive role model. For me, that was my grandmother. For more than 110 years, Big Brothers Big Sisters has been making meaningful monitor matches between adult volunteers and children. And these positive relationships have direct and measurable impacts. Help a child realize his or her potential. Visit bigbrothersbigsisters.org.
Welcome back. Joining me right now, we have some ladies to talk about a very important issue. We've got Sonia Bush with TPD and also Audrey Smith with TPD. And the topic that we're going to discuss is
human trafficking.
Correct. And what is going on that we need to know about in our community as it relates to this and also the bigger issue?
The Delta Kappa Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority is partnering with the Tallahassee Police Department and also the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives to bring a human trafficking awareness campaign or seminar to our community. We did it last year. Right. It was a great success. We had approximately 100 to 150 participants, and so we're doing it again this year to bring awareness to our community.
And when will that event be?
The event will be on Saturday, April 25th. Sure. From 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Delta Kappa Omega Providence Community Service Center.
Okay. And so you hear about it all the time. This is also something very big on Attorney General Bondi's plate too, something that she often talks about. How big of an issue is this really? Because you don't come across a lot of people where they were the victim of human trafficking. Let's talk more about the seriousness of the issue and how many people it impacts.
Well, typically when you think about, most people when they think about human trafficking, they think about something that happens somewhere else, a different country.
Correct.
And we tend to not think that it happens here in our own community. And with Pam Bondi's focus on human trafficking and the publicity that it's gotten, even law enforcement has started to look at it with different eyes, and we're seeing that it happens right here in our own community.
Right.
In the past 2 years, we've had our focus directed towards that from our Special Victims Unit, and in the last 14 months, we have actually made 5 different cases on sex trafficking here in Tallahassee.
What are some of the things that will be covered, and I don't want you to talk about everything, but some of the things that would be covered during this particular event where we could help educate the general community as to how they can help stop this from happening?
We will have 2 presenters, of course, Sergeant Sonia Bush from Tallahassee Police Department. We will also have Rap Radley, who is with the Department of Homeland Security, and he'll talk about human trafficking on a more on a national level. And last year, they had the audience in awe because, again, a lot of people don't believe that or did not realize that we actually have events here in the state of Florida.
I'm in awe.
And then closer to home here in Tallahassee.
I'm shocked there's 5 cases here.
Yes. So in addition to talking vaguely or briefly about the local cases, because those cases are still under investigation, so we can't go
vaguely,
into
you're right,
detail.
Yeah, right.
But they'll talk about the cases locally. They'll talk about cases on a national and international level, and then they'll also try to give our citizens things to look for, so that if you see something that looks like it might be improper, that you can notify the authorities. Because again, victims sometimes, like you asked the question, why don't somebody say anything? It's intimidation. Right. They're afraid to say something. So we as citizens have to be aware and know what to look for in cases of human trafficking.
So then my guess is their lives are threatened, the lives of their families are threatened. If you say anything, I'm going to go find your mom and kill her, that kind of thing. Wow, okay, so briefly, for those who aren't going to be able to make this event, what are some things that community members can, if they see it, what should they do? What should we be looking for if we notice it?
Well, there's a couple of different things. When you talk about labor trafficking, you're usually talking about hotels where you might have cleaning services may be victims of human trafficking, or you may be talking about massage parlors, or
so this isn't necessarily the sex trade. This could be actual.
It could be labor trafficking.
Okay, wow.
Or nail salons is another place that it's been seen in other jurisdictions. And so some of the things that you look for are, first of all, that you may have a foreign national that doesn't speak English, and if you try to communicate with them, there may be somebody else that will step in and try to be that buffer or communicate with them. If they refuse to look at you, like in a hotel setting, and they're also moved around quite frequently. They won't stay in one venue for very long, so which is kind of hard in the hotel industry because you're just visiting, to see things. But if anything at all stands out, Like domestic violence, if you see someone with a lot of injuries, you know, these women are often battered, or men, in fact, are also victims, and they're battered and abused and kept into submission. So anything that just seems out of the norm with these types of employees, we encourage you to call. There's a 1-800 hotline that is online through the Homeland Security. It's their, I believe it's called the Blue Campaign.
Okay.
And it gives a 1-800 number that you can call anonymously, and you know, and law enforcement will just check into it. Some of the things with our children are our runaways. Our chronic runaways are often at risk for this type of thing. So I think if we start to see kids in the schools that are missing a lot of school, or they become very submissive, those types of things, a change in their behavior, then we just need to look at it.
All right. Anything else that you ladies would like to add before we close out the segment?
No, just again, to say that the event will be at the Delta Kappa Omega Providence Community Center on Saturday, April 25th. Starts at 10 o'clock, goes until 1. We'll have refreshments for the participants and also door prizes, trying to get you there. And we just invite the public to come out and learn more about human trafficking.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you, ladies, so very much for joining us on an interesting topic for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
The all-new TLX from Acura.
Now available at Proctor Acura.
Every child needs a mentor, a positive role model. For me, that was my grandmother. For more than 110 years, Big Brothers Big Sisters has been making meaningful monitored matches between adult volunteers and children. And these positive relationships have direct and measurable impacts. Help a child realize his or her potential. Visit bigbrothersbigsisters.org.
All right, welcome back, and we have a special guest with us today, Russell Dawes from the Tallahassee Museum. Welcome on the show, Russell.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
And we're excited to have you because you actually have a slew of fun in the queue right now as we're getting ready to celebrate spring and all the rest of it. What's the next thing on the agenda? Well, actually, let's do this.
Yeah.
For anybody who doesn't know what Tallahassee Museum is, just in case they live under a rock,
Okay.
like some of your animals, tell us what the museum is.
Well, it's a 52-acre complex where we tell the stories about our region's history, culture, and natural environment. We have historic buildings, animals in large natural habitats, gardens, nature trails, and lots of programs.
And then the one particular thing my son loves, what is that? Which is the newest addition, I guess, to the museum. You could do, really? For big kids and little kids?
Oh, the tree-to-tree adventures.
That's right,
Yeah.
tree-to-tree adventures,
Yeah.
which I've actually done with Joel and Nick.
Yes, you have.
Nick had a camera and actually got further along than Joel did.
Still scared?
No,
Joel couldn't finish?
He wasn't scared. He was actually maybe too confident.
Okay.
As he's going across, he kept, so there are different
Platforms
pulleys
you
and
have to
different
land,
things
yeah.
that you've got to do. And Joel just could not keep it together. The person below was like, "You are hooked on, aren't you?" Because you got to latch
Oh, wow,
on.
yes.
And so he asked Joel several times,
Well,
"You are
Joel is
hooked on, aren't
sometimes
you?"
instruction challenge.
Well, and Joel will tell
Joel's about
you.
to edit this out, I think.
Joel will tell you he's not the most athletic guy, but he's actually in great shape still. But I mean, we had a lot of fun, and a couple times I was slightly worried when those things went out underneath of him. But like I said, Nick had the camera and got further along, so I'm in front of Nick, Nick's behind me, and Joel's behind him. But that's not how we started. But it's actually hilarious fun, especially if you do it with Joel Silver. And my son loves the one for the little guys and little girls, and so
he'll soon go to the bigger one.
you know, he's asked me about that. I'm not sure if he's tall enough yet. I mean, he'll be 9 this month, so we'll check.
Yeah.
But But anyways, he still likes the little guy one too, so that's a very good time with
That's
that.
good.
But okay, so
Okay,
anyways,
sorry, Russell. You got something else to
that's
talk
the
about,
museum.
though.
You've got
Let's
something
reel it in.
specific coming in.
Yeah. We've
we're
got
gonna
a
be doing.
great weekend planned for April 25th and 26th. It's our annual Tallahassee Jazz and Blues Festival. And we kick off on Saturday with the Pioneer Breakfast, which is like a 40-plus year tradition.
Right.
The Jazz and Blues we've been doing 24 years.
Right.
And it's a great time of year to visit the museum.
Right.
Temperature's right, things are blooming, and the music is fantastic. As we know with this past Music Week, we have some tremendous
Right.
talent. And we've got to support live music in this town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else? So this weekend, or this particular weekend, we'll have jazz music, obviously.
Yes.
The breakfast, lots of food, which is always fun.
Lots of food, adult beverages,
Okay.
just in case you need some.
You want to be an adult?
And we have these fabulous bands who donate their performances because they
Oh.
believe in the museum. They believe in live music.
Very
It's
cool.
fantastic. Saturday tends to be jazz.
Right.
We have Tallahassee Swing. We have TCC's jazz band, Thomas
Okay.
University's jazz
wow.
band, Zach Bartholomew Trio, the Yellow Dog Jazz Band.
Okay.
So Saturday's a big day for the jazz fan.
Sure.
And then Sunday, because it is Sunday, it's almost the end of the weekend, we have some really driving blues music.
Nice.
We have Rhythm Abuse. We have Big Daddy Dan, Randy Webster,
Okay.
and the Red Hot Javas, who is amazing, starting at 11 o'clock Sunday.
What's
You don't
amazing, you
wanna
remember all these names.
I know.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, Russ, you got
Well,
it.
these,
You know,
these bands have been a big support of the museum.
Sure,
We
okay.
believe in what they do, and they're all friends.
Right.
We have Bo Gazziti, and we finish the day with Acme Rhythm and Blues. So
They are awesome, actually.
they are.
And so, okay, so that's that weekend. What's the next thing on the agenda for Tallahassee Museum?
Well, actually, on April 18th, we're doing Stomp Out Diabetes 2 in conjunction with TMH and Leon County School Foundation, where we are trying to raise awareness of how many kids are at risk of diabetes.
Sure.
Whether it's exercise, food habits. Right now, about 30% of our elementary kids in the public schools are at
That's right.
risk. And we've got to help change the perspectives of how we prepare meals, what we eat, getting kids outside away from the games and
Right.
getting exercise.
Okay.
So, Russell, I was reading a little bit just to make sure. If you're a member, you have some added benefits for this Jazz and Blues Fest.
Yeah.
And what are some of the benefits if you're a member?
Well, if you're a member, you get in for free. And with
well, sign
Tallahassee
up.
Jazz and Blues Festival, we don't charge an extra fee. It's
Okay.
regular museum admission. Members come in free. If you're not a member, you can join at the door and get in free, or the prices range from $7 to $10.
That's awesome.
The Pioneer Breakfast is $8 for adults, $6 for kids, and you can buy combo tickets.
Okay.
So
Wow.
you can't beat it.
And then for the summer, what do you guys have going on for
We
the
have
summer?
summer
for the
camp.
kids? Yep.
And
Which is
that-
coming up.
Yeah, we have 500 kids that come into our summer camp over the summer. And then, of course, we have other things. In July, we do the Swamp Stomp
Mm-hmm.
Music Festival, which is really singer-songwriter. A little more acoustic, but not all. There's,
Right.
you know, Sarah Mack oftentimes performs
Sure.
for us, so
Okay.
we can really get moving.
All right, so if anybody wants to learn more about the museum, how to join, about these particular events, about summer camp, what do they need to do?
Two really good ways. Go to our website, tallahasseemuseum.org.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy tickets online for the breakfast or jazz and blues, combo tickets, or Tallahassee Tree to Tree,
Sure.
or our Facebook. Be a friend. We have over 17,000 friends on Facebook.
Goodness.
And between those two things, you won't miss a thing we're doing.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
We
you,
will
Ann.
actually be at
Pleasure.
these
Thank
events
you.
as
Yes.
well, so, and we'll be there with the cameras and have a good time, so, but make sure you're there and you get to be on camera. But thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Enjoyed it. Thank you.
All right, we're going to be right back. Stay with us.
Brian Barnard's Flooring America is more than just a flooring store.
As part of America's leading flooring retail group, our buying power ensures that you receive the best value and guarantees.
At Flooring America, we're experts in flooring sales and design, and will help you find the perfect floor for the way you live. We're locally owned and dedicated to providing you with the highest levels of customer service.
Our family has continued to serve Tallahassee since 1976. We are Brian Barnard's Flooring America, where friends send friends.
Wheezy's Cottage and Home. There's so much here for your home, you may never want to leave. Macy's Cottage and Home in the Market District, next to Narcissus. Hey, where did Ann and Audra go?
All right, welcome back. We are here with a very special guest, a personal friend of mine, Ron Book, who is the chairman of Lauren's Kids Foundation. Welcome.
Thank you, and thank you for inviting me to be here with you.
Definitely. Now, Ron, you have a special tie to this organization and a special event that you want to talk about. So what are you here to tell our friends at home?
I'm all about Lauren's Kids and what Lauren's Kids does. Lauren's Kids is a foundation that we started in late 2007, which works to prevent childhood sexual abuse, not only here in Florida, but all over the country. We work at prevention through education and awareness. And once a year, my daughter, for the last 6 years, has put on her sneakers and started in Key West, Florida, and crisscrosses the state over 42 days, walking 1,500 miles to raise awareness, provide education, and empower people to know that it's always okay to tell.
It's really amazing. I participated in the walk when we walk up to the Capitol, the final mile, and it's really just a touching event because there are so many people that Lauren talks with and connects with who share their experiences with her. And you have some big things on the horizon in terms of curriculum. I think there's a curriculum that was developed for the state. Is that correct?
There is. It's called Safer, Smarter Kids, and we started with Safer, Smarter Kids, a program for voluntary pre-K and kindergarten. It is launched now, and that was in 16,000 classrooms in the state. And we launched our first through third grade curriculum this year. It's in another 45, almost 50,000 classrooms throughout the state. And we're launching 4 through 6 and then into the high school level as well. It's all about how we teach our children as well as our families how to be safe. And the walk this year is called Lace Up, Speak Up. It's all about, again, keeping our children safer, and we advocate for a safer Florida.
Definitely, and I really appreciate this, being the mother of 3 girls, as you know, and I'm thinking about even my own Paloma being ready for this curriculum and having these conversations that sometimes I think parents at home were afraid to acknowledge or teach our kids about, but you really need to have these discussions.
Well, so very long, people thought that it was all about stranger danger. People don't want to have this conversation. And, you know, my daughter was sexually assaulted from the time she was 11 until she was almost 17 years old. And we really decided as a family we didn't have a choice. We had to not just report and speak up, but we had to do something about it. And so almost 14 years ago this month, when we first came to Tallahassee to seek change in a law that will now allow a victim to get an HIV and a hepatitis test, which was not the law in Florida back when we discovered the abuse of Lauren, to the elimination of the statute of limitations, to making Florida the only mandatory reporting state in the country. You know, we really do make a difference here in Florida. You know, 14 years ago, nobody at the state capitol wanted to talk about sexual assault, let alone childhood sexual assault. We don't teach sex education. We don't teach about inappropriate stuff. We talk about how you stay safe, things that we really need to be doing a better job at teaching our children and empowering them to always know it's okay to tell.
Okay. Well, I want the viewers at home want to be participants. They want to participate in the events that are coming up. Real quick, highlight what are the events coming up that everyone can get involved in. I know we have a Buddy Bash that's going to be kind of a culminating event, kind of downtown on Adams Street.
Well, we have three major events. First of all, on the night of the 21st, which is the night before the final mile, we have something called Take Back the Nights, and it is, again, intended to empower individuals to know that they can speak up and speak out. And that takes place at 7:15 at Doug Burnett Park.
Right.
And then the next day at Governor Square Mall, which is where we always kick off our final mile at 3:30 in the afternoon, we will be registered and ready to go at exactly 3:45 when we take those first steps down the parkway for that last mile. And the last mile is always an emotional thing for us. It marks the start of the 1,500th mile of a 1,500-mile journey. And you touched it. I mean, Lauren touches the lives of thousands and thousands of individuals over the course of 42 days. And I might add that 42 days is symbolic. it's symbolic about the 42 million survivors of childhood sexual abuse in America today. And we walk that final mile, and we get to the Capitol at 4:30. We have a rally on the steps of the Capitol, followed by a 5 o'clock new event that we're doing on Adams Street between Jefferson and College. We'll have the street closed. It's going to be a street fair primarily for children, and we will have a bounce house and face painting and food trucks and arts and crafts and a petting zoo and things for children, and it's all geared to telling children how to stay safe and teach their parents how to help make sure they stay safe. So we hope the entire community will come out and be with us. Walk that final mile with us. Come to Governor Square Mall. Be part of an historic walk up Appalachian Parkway for the 6th annual Walk in My Shoes Walk. Lace up, speak up.
Perfect. And give us a final website if they want to learn a little bit more information.
Go to lawrencekids.org. We have our walk schedule there. Send us an email, ask questions, whatever we can do to ever be helpful. But our schedule for the walk can be found at lawrencekids.org. And I might add, over the last 8 days of the walk, they can go to lawrencekids.org and they can hit the live stream and actually watch as Lauren walks across the last part of the walk, which today she's in the Panhandle, walking across the Panhandle from Pensacola back to Tallahassee, which is the final phase of the walk.
Goodness. Well, it's amazing. And Ron, I appreciate you being on the show, and thank you for sharing with our viewers at home. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Every child needs a mentor, a positive role model. For me, that was my grandmother. For more than 110 years, Big Brothers Big Sisters has been making meaningful monitored matches between adult volunteers and children. And these positive relationships have direct and measurable impacts. Help a child realize his or her potential. Visit bigbrothersbigsisters.org.
Welcome to Cabela's Hair and Nail Studio in Midtown Spa. Come to Cabela's and experience the high-scale salon experience and let us cater to your every beauty need. Conveniently located in Midtown above the Wine Loft. Cabela's, a fun and energetic and pampering place to plan an escape just for you.
We had a lot packed in the show today. Thank you so much for joining us. If you want to catch up with us, you can find us on Facebook, or you can log on to our website, which is www.aaintheam.com. Have a great day.